Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Friday Night Writing. This is week 2 of our, uh, Universal Fantasy. Wow, Urban Fantasy Mystery Series. We are going to be working on uh, the series itself today, and I just realized that I cannot see the chat from my setup here. So I'm going to log into the chat from my phone. While I do that, do me a huge favor. Why don't you say hi? And if I haven't said hi back to you yet, it's because I literally can't see the chat. So let me go ahead and get logged into that. But go ahead, say hi. Let me know where you are watching from. And also, what are you working on? Let's see. And now I just need to find myself here. And we will be all set. And of course, it's not showing my active video. So I will figure that out here in a minute. And let's do that. Unfortunately, I have to do it the hard way. I was going to try to do it from my phone, but sadly, that is not actually working. And hopefully it doesn't try to play anything. While we do this. Okay. Okay, cool. It shows I'm live, so that's awesome. And here we go. I can see you now. Yay. Okay, I see Space. Lovely to see you. Cat, hello. Fan screaming. Awesome. Let's see. Space, why are you up so late? You should be in bed. Okay. Okay, so I do have the chat now. So we are good to go there. Let me first, let's hop over here back to our document and let me provide you just again the Notion document for the series. I will put it in right here. Hopefully it comes through. It looks like it did. So this is our Notion document. If you go under sessions, you'll actually see the 2 videos. And just to make sure you guys can hear me correct, I don't want to make any assumptions. I know last time you guys couldn't hear me. It's only late when the birds start singing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So if you go and oh, hey, Alicia, look at April 4th. So this was the last stream we did, the first one. And it actually goes over my homework for last week, as well as, oh, great. Thank you so much for letting me know. Great. Thank you, Kat. You can see not only my homework. So here is our tentative series concept. Also, how did I figure this out? Well, I used a couple different things, and you can learn about them right there. So I will go back here. Oh, hey, Mark. You will see the resources here. So we've got the developmental editor right here. So those of you who are using Novel Crafter, yay. And then we also have the link to the GPT. I have been making good use of this as well. As well as I went ahead and put name generator here too, because a lot of times when ChatGPT or even Claude sometimes will give you um, a name. They are what we like to call AI names. Uh, they like to give us weird names or the same names. That's where we get those fun things like Willow Creek from. We actually were on a call. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, and we ended up with a Willow Creek. So everyone toasted, and we all had a drink, and we continued on. So okay, so let's go into today. This is April 11th. You will see that we have actually did a little bit more work. We have a name for the first book. We also have a series name, and that was totally unintentional. It just happened when I was trying to come up with some art for the book cover. Um, if you guys want to learn more about how I came up with this book cover, I would be more than happy to share in another stream. But it was a combination of ChatGPT, Ideogram, and Canva, of all things. Speaking of Canva, they had their Canva Create, and some amazing things came out of that. I know I got access to a lot of the new tools that came out. I actually built a website today using Canva, and it looked amazing. Now, I wasn't able to edit it, granted. I found out after I built it that I couldn't edit it. And so, yeah, the tools aren't necessarily where they need to be just yet, at least that one. But pretty soon, hopefully, we'll be able to, if you're interested, go over how to build a website in Canva for your author brand. So I am super excited about that. So let's go over what was the assignment. So we'll kind of go back to what happened last week. The assignment was to create a series or a book. Actually, originally it was a book. That was like the Dresden Files, so kind of in the vein of the Dresden Files. The Dresden Files is actually by Jim Butcher, and so it is a urban fantasy mystery. So that is what we are creating. Let's see. And with that, so the categories that we are targeting with this series are going to be urban fantasy, paranormal suspense. Now, paranormal suspense actually has some subgenres to it. So there's one for vampires. There's also one for werewolves and shifters. I will tell you, we have definitely hit the vampire one. I haven't seen anything in what I've created so far that has anything to do with werewolves and shifters. So it's possible we may come across a character, a minor character, or maybe even a secondary character or a victim who is a werewolf or a shifter. But so far, we have not. And we also are targeting private investigator mysteries. So those are the categories. I did the category research first. So kind of what we started with last week is that we are doing a 3-book series. It's going to have a romantic subplot because romantasy is huge right now. We're also going to have a female protagonist, as you can tell by the cover, a morally ambiguous male lead. It's also going to have some personal stakes. So that was kind of where we started with the whole thing. And then as far as the plot, and we're going to be working on the plot today. So there is an A story, a B story, and then we have the two subplots. So we've got a series spanning mystery or conspiracy, and that's going to be the series arc for all 3 books. So it'll go across all 3. Each book itself is going to have a supernatural case. So that's going to be part of the book arc. And then we're going to have a slow burn romance, as well as she's going to have an internal conflict, which is related to her curse or her quote unquote gift. So we also discussed tropes. So reluctant hero, found family, grumpy sunshine. And we decided to kind of turn that on its ear a little bit. Our girl is the grumpy one. Our guy is going to be our sunshine. We're going to have a ghost sidekick. We also have an animal sidekick too. We actually have a Veritas the Destroyer here, as well as a cursed main character. And then we had a big idea that I found out later. A couple other people had this come up for them as well, of the dead letter office. So it's not a concept that just we're doing. Other people have received this as well, this idea of a dead letter office, but we have the opportunity to take it in a different direction than possibly other people. So, okay. Let me know. I know my son's dog keeps moving around here. Let me know if that is getting annoying. Not that I can really do anything about it, but we're going to have some background noise here, unfortunately. Okay, so let's move on to what are we going to do today? So we kind of have some, I want to call them big rocks. So we are going to start by crafting a high-level 3-book arc that is rooted in magic, mystery, and momentum. So we want to make sure that this book is moving forward. And then we're also going to make sure that we have escalating stakes and interconnected plots. And then the final thing that we're going to do today is we're going to begin the world building actually for the entire series. So I went ahead, I had created this file last time, and there's nothing in it. So we've got the codex, we've got the snippets, and we just had that one chat last time that we started to talk with the LLM to begin to get some ideas. So we are going to continue in this file, this novel, and it's possible that we actually may turn this, depending on how things go. This actually may become our series codex, or it may not. I don't know. I don't know where the adventure is going to take us yet today. So let's see. It's definitely something that I've wanted to discuss with you guys in the past is, how do you build a series codex? So again, I'm not sure if it's going to transition into that, or if it will just be the first book codex and then we go from there. So let's go ahead and we'll open a new chat thread. And I don't need anything under context. And we'll go here to select the AI. Now, the only thing that I did different from last week is I actually put a number 1 in front of the urban fantasy mystery just so I can find it faster. And I didn't have to scroll through everything, just to make things a little bit easier. I'll go ahead and we will start with Claude 3.7. This is my urban fantasy mystery developmental editor prompt. And so let's go ahead and we will grab this information. And I think I can grab all of it. I don't want the picture. Okay. That's going to be a pain in the butt, but whatever. Okay, so what do we want to do first? And I think we're actually going to work on that book arc, but really quick, really fast. I'm going to check on the chat. Hello, Emery. Okay, cool. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and put this information in, and let's see. series name. I think it actually calls it in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in here anyway. Okay, and then this part here is actually our series. We're going to call this a premise. So, former homicide detective Charlene Charlie Craig, and these names are changeable. Again, to have something, I picked something. So Charlene Charlie Craig wasn't supposed to wake up undead in an alley with blood on her shirt, and the dead whispering louder than usual. She's been on leave, out of uniform, trying to deal with a case that nearly broke her. Now she's a vampire with no idea who turned her and a supernatural ability that makes her a walking antenna for ghosts tied to unresolved business. Her first assignment post-mortem, a transfer to the dead letter office, the supernatural's world's least glamorous division of magical infrastructure. Here, misdirected email, cursed packages, and spirit-bound correspondence show up from beyond the veil. And I'm not going to go read this whole thing to you because, anyway. So we have Kingston Valentine, who is a mage, and he is here to flirt and commit light treason. So I will definitely tell you this, Mr. Valentine here is definitely going to be our protagonist, or sorry, what would we call him? A morally, what do we call him? Hold on. Morally ambiguous lead. There we go. He is definitely morally ambiguous, and I'm pretty sure I know that he did something he wasn't supposed to, and he is contracted to the dead letter office to make sure he doesn't continue to get in any more trouble. You got Eddie, who is the ghost of a former administrator who is haunting the filing cabinets. And so he is from 1928. So he's going to have a really very different way of speaking, probably a way of dressing. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we've got Veritas the Destroyer, who is a manticore. Because why the heck not? He's possibly royal, possibly apocalyptic, and definitely he's bitey. So that'll be fun as well. Let's see here. Oh, I put that as a note for you guys. We don't need it in here. What else do I need besides telling it what I want it to do? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I just pretty much need to tell it what to do. Okay. I hate when it does that. There we go. And I'm just using that to break up, and it gives me a line. And let's see. Let's craft a high level 3-book arc. Rooted, because I just like this. Rooted in mystery, magic, and momentum. Okay. And we'll start here. Let's see how it does with this. It's absolutely thrilled to help us. Well, I'm so glad. Oh, it even gave us some titles. That's fun. Okay, so let's go see what it had to say. So, Urban Fantasy Mystery Series, done and delivered. Yes. Premise is fantastic. Well, of course it is. Let's see. Initial series strengths. Okay, so unique premise. It's not actually unique, but okay. We'll give you that. Strong protagonist, compelling supporting cast. Great. And a clear series structure. Okay. 3-book arc development. So for your first 3 books, I recommend establishing a clear progression that hooks readers while gradually expanding your worlds. Well, duh. So book 1, Return to Sender, main case. Great. Let's Let's see. A seemingly simple, misdirected ghost letter that reveals a pattern of supernatural tampering. Uh, s- Theories arc advancement. Charlie discovers her transformation wasn't random, but deliberately engineered, which fantastic because that is something that we definitely want to address in book one. That um, her becoming a vampire was definitely someone else engineered that. I guess is a way of saying that. So yeah, she got set up. Character development. Charlie struggles with vampire adaptation while establishing uneasy alliances with Kingston, Eddie, and Veritas. Awesome. We definitely want that to happen. Ending hook relation. Oh, excuse me, revelation that someone is using the DLO to intercept communications between the living and the dead for unknown purposes. Interesting. So here it is. Book 2, postage due. A cursed package that's stealing years of life from recipients across Cleveland. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, this is in Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. Well, I live in Cleveland. Series arc advancement. So Charlie uncovers a faction within supernatural governance using the DLO as cover. Okay. Character development. Kingston's true motivations become more complex, and Charlie begins mastering her abilities. Okay. Ending hook. Discovery of ancient magic awakening belief. Cleveland tried to Charlie's transformation. I'm not sure about that. Kind of sounds like really hokey. And let's see. Special delivery. Prophetic letters predicting the death that Charlie must prevent. Conspiracy's first phase is revealed and partially thwarted. She embraces her new existence while forging stronger bonds with her team. And revelation of a larger threat that sets up books 4 through 6. Well, I'm glad it's thinking about books 4 through 6 because I have no idea. uh, if Eddie's from the 20s, he'd probably go by Mr. Whatever. Okay. Hey there, memes. Okay. So, key elements to develop the Dead Letter Office mythology, flesh out its magical postal system marks, its history, why it's the perfect cover for a conspiracy. Okay. Yes. That's valid right there. Charlie's vampire abilities. So, beyond hearing the dead, what unique vampire traits does she possess and how do they evolve? Okay. Yep. We'll definitely need to have um, our vampire mythology figured out as well. Cleveland supernatural landscape. Also, yes, very important. And conspiracy breadcrumbs. So, yes, right now it's very much, oh, there's a conspiracy, but we don't know exactly what the conspiracy is. So, I think that's part of what we're going to be dealing with today. So, fleshing out some more of the mythology and what really actually does happen because it just being quote unquote a conspiracy isn't going to work. We need to know exactly what's happening so we can make sure that we are leaving breadcrumbs for people along the way. So before we move forward, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run this in a different LLM. So just to kind of see, um, what the other LLMs come up with. So let's go ahead. I'll open up a new thread. And I know a lot of people have been having a good time. Here we go. Where am I? Who am I? Divider. There we go. A lot of people have been using 2.5 Flash, but I don't think I put it in here. No, I didn't. Maybe another time. We'll try GPT-4o, just see what it does. And I will hit send. Oh, okay. So this is actually organizing it just a little bit differently. So we'll scroll up here. Okay. So the main plot, so this is the B story. Like we said, it's self-contained mystery that happens within the book. So Charlie investigates a series of cursed packages that cause recipients to suffer hallucinations, leading to dangerous actions. Packages seem random, but a pattern emerges, suggesting a deliberate and malicious sender. Okay. So if this was our case, we'd have to figure out why and who. So, okay. Our romantic slow burn. Now, the other chat didn't address the slow burn really at all. It was more or less, it kind of made them sound like they were coworkers. Charlie's interactions with Kingston are filled with tension and banter, fostering an underlying attraction. They learn to work together despite mutual suspicion. Well, that's okay. I can live with that. Let's see. If you guys have any ideas as we're going through this, please speak up. And by speak up, I mean, you know, put in the chat. So here we go. Our internal conflict. So Charlie struggles with her new identity as a vampire and her ability to communicate with the dead. Well, duh. Ghosts bombard her with messages and she fears losing her sense of self. Now, I like that part. That's really nice. She fears losing her sense of self. So, you know, and you have to remember that she was struggling before all of this happened with a case. So, how does that affect her? And then on top of that, oh yeah, you just got transformed into a vampire. Well, that's no fun. Okay, so introduction to the conspiracy. Oh, well, that's helpful. There we go. Clues about Charlie's transformation service. The cursed packages investigation reveals whispers of ancient power connecting to Cleveland's ley lines. That's the second or third time I've heard something about ley lines. So Charlie discovers that the Dead Letter office's mundane appearance hides deeper, darker secrets. What are those secrets? We need to know. And then we've got our climax or resolution. So she solves the case, uncovering the packages were diversions, masking the theft of an ancient artifact linked to the ley lines. She gains the trust of her team and solidifies her place at the Dead Letter office. Okay. Yes, Kat. She was hearing the dead beforehand. Yes, I'm glad you caught that. So, that's something that kind of slipped into it yesterday, or not yesterday. There was last Friday when I was coming up with this. She was actually already a psychic. Maybe she didn't know that she was a psychic. But yes, very good catch, Kat. Um, yes, Charlie was a psychic beforehand. She was able to um just do things. I don't think that she necessarily quote unquote talked to the dead at like before, but somehow she was able to use her powers to solve crimes. So Alicia says, so does Charlie struggle having a relationship because she wants to drink Kings of Blood or is afraid of eating him? That's actually a really good question because I am rereading Newly Undead in Dark River by Grace McGinty right now. And that's like a really big key thing in that book because the protagonist wakes up in a drainage ditch and they pretty much like, oh, hey, by the way, you're dead. You're a vampire. And so she's having to come to terms with becoming a vampire and what does that look like for her and having to part from her family even. So that's something we haven't even talked about is does Charlie have a family? Like what if she becomes a vampire, which she has, what does that mean for her family? um so fantastic question. And yeah, does she want to drink his blood? I don't know. I'm sure she's going to want to remove his head at some point because he's going to be the sunshine to her grumpy. Okay, so this one, it named it Special Delivery. So this is book 2. Prophetic ghost letters predict several high-profile supernatural crimes in Cleveland. Charlie must decipher the letters' cryptic warnings to prevent these events. Each prediction grows more dangerous, testing her limits. Okay, I like that one. It's actually better some of the other ones that I have created before this. Because yes, I did practice, unlike last time. So let's look at our slow burn. So tension with Kingston escalates. They share moments of vulnerability, hinting a deeper connection, because that's what you always do when you fall for some person. You have shared moments of vulnerability. But you have to remember this is GPT. However, trust issues remain. Yes, that right there is until he pretty much tells her, hey, I'm here because I did bad things and made poor choices. There's definitely going to be trust issues. So her internal conflict, so her control over her abilities increases, but so does the ghost's interference. She learns more about her power's origins and potential. Okay. And then, so unveiling the conspiracy, Charlie's investigation dives deeper into the dead letter office's true purpose, connections between the crimes, the ancient artifact, and the ley lines become clear. She encounters an old enemy who seems to know too much about her quote unquote gift. I'm one of those people. You throw in an ancient artifact, and I flip the page. I am not an artifact person. I'm not. I don't want ancient artifacts in what I'm doing. So that's actually a really good suggestion, Alicia. Maybe Kingston distrusts vampires for a personal reason. Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay. So the climax resolution of that one. So Charlie prevents the final predicted crime, saving lives and uncovering the link between the prophecy and her own transformation. Old enemy hints at a larger plot involving her before vanishing, leaving more questions than answers. Okay. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I still am not a big fan of, supernatural artifacts. They just feel icky to me. Sealed with a curse. Okay, that's cute. Soul binding contract goes rogue, trapping an innocent in a cycle of torment. Tracing the contract's origin, Charlie discovers a network dealing in illegally bound souls. Breaking the cycle risks everything. That's interesting. Oh, Kingston's true motives are revealed. He's deeply connected to the conspiracy, but his feelings for Charlie are genuine. Together, they must navigate trust and betrayal. Yee. And then we've got Charlie embraces her powers, realizing they were never a curse. They are a key to unraveling the ancient powers stirring beneath Cleveland. I don't know about that. So we're definitely going to have to make some big changes with these. But I mean, I like the direction that some of them are heading. And both of them have some good things to them. So it's going to be a matter of taking what we like from one, taking what we like from another, and merging them together. Okay, so the final book pieces together the conspiracy. The Dead Letter Office isn't just redirecting supernatural correspondence, it's a hub for manipulating dark forces tied to the ley line. Charlie's transformation was part of a plan to control the power. And so she exposes the masterminds behind the conspiracy, a faction within the supernatural community, manipulating the Dead Letter Office. In an epic showdown, Charlie must prevent the ancient power from awakening fully and stop those who sought to use her. She gains allies in unexpected places, solidifies her power, and disrupts the manipulation of the ley line. Huh. With the conspiracy shattered and the threat contained, Charlie secures a semblance of normalcy in her unlife. Cute. And the Dead letter office is under new and safer management. Huh. So like I said, I like it. I like this one better actually than Claude, but there was some stuff in Claude that I liked a little bit better. But it still needs some significant massaging as far as uh, you know, what to keep, what to get rid of. So I think that I'm gonna have to work on this probably after we're done because it's gonna take a lot of effort. However, let's go ahead and uh, we will we'll just keep going in this chat here, and we'll just continue, and then I can do some of this stuff on my own. So we need to begin the world building, and so we want to know what are the rules uh, and other things about the world. So let's just say let's discuss the world where this takes place. What information do I need to know to build this world? Okay. This isn't normally how I do this, but hey. Okay. So here we go. Build an immersive and coherent world for Dead Delivered is crucial to making your urban fantasy series captivating and believable. 100%. Yes, Alicia. She said it seems like the post office should fit more prominently as a charged location. Yes. So it should be as far as the um, city of Cleveland. So the dead letter office should probably be on an epicenter of the ley lines or places where they cross or something like that. Okay. Modern Cleveland with a supernatural twist. Okay. So it looks like we just need to figure out how to integrate different landmarks into the book and add a supernatural twist. And then with our ley lines, so there are sources of magical energy beneath Cleveland, and so we need to determine, where they're located. As far as the ley lines go, how do they intersect, and how do they affect the city as a whole, as well as the supernatural within the city? Okay, dead letter office. So physical and magical appearance, hidden in plain sight or accessible through magical means. That's a really good question. I really hadn't thought about. I mean, when I was writing this, I was kind of thinking, Men in Black. You remember when they would like walk into that building and then the lower end of the floor, or was it an elevator? I don't remember. I probably need to bone up on my Men in Black, but so what are the day-to-day operations? Who else works there, and what are their roles? It would also be good to know who runs it, and so how does Charlie get charged with, being part of the dead letter office? We also really didn't talk about the fact that, her waking up, where does she live, any of that kind of stuff. Alicia had said, and maybe instead of an artifact, it has something to do with a lost letter. Okay, yeah, that's a possibility. I was thinking more of something along the lines of people are using like that either the ghost's energy or um their souls to fuel something, or to um they're harnessing that energy to do something bad, is kind of where I was taking it when I was trying to figure it out. Is it part of the actual post office with union representatives, office bickering over your routes, etc.? That's a good question as well. Here we go. So, boundaries. So, what type of supernatural mail and packages arrive, and what makes them so dangerous? Good questions. Supernatural community. So, diversity. So, what kind of creatures are there? Integration. So, do they coexist with humans, or are they separated somehow? Um, and then with the politics and the hierarchy, so who holds the power, and who runs the different creatures. Also, like, where do you, I mean, if you're like delivering for a werewolf, like, where's the werewolf sector at? So that's a really good question. Um, Supernatural laws and magic systems. So, vampire lore, very much so. How does drinking blood work into the world? Night versus day. So, she's a vampire. Can she go out during the day, or do they work at night? How does Charlie navigate these restrictions in her investigations? Very good questions. Ghost interaction. So, how do ghosts manifest in our world? How do they behave in our world? And I mean, what is their rules for existence? So, how do you get ghosts? Are they just, is it like unfinished business, or is there a specific reason why a person is a ghost versus crossing over? So, very good questions. Character dynamics and locations. So, where does Kingston live? And what are some key places tied to his past and activities? Eddie, um, what can he reveal about the past of the Dead Letter Office? Good question. Oh, any ties to historical events or happenings in Cleveland? That's also a really good question, too. So many decisions, Kat. Yes, 100%. But that's why we're authors. We sign up for this. Veritas. So, where did he come from? What's his backstory? Hidden supernatural war or conflict that he's trying to evade. I'm not sure about that. I mean, why would you have a manticore? Originally when I was thinking about this story, she wasn't going to be a vampire. She was going to be a witch. But then I was like, you have so many witch mysteries. It's just, why don't we do a vampire? Veritas would have made a good familiar. Or I should say, not necessarily a good familiar, but like a interesting familiar. So technology and supernatural coexistence. Does technology coexist or interfere with magic? So, because you can. Exactly, Kat. Leonie, if you're still here, we need to have blood box. So we were chatting with Jen. So, again, that was yesterday. And we were doing a story that had technology and it had vampires in it, because apparently I'm on a vampire kick right now. And blood delivery, kind of like DoorDash, came up in the conversation. And so, yeah, it brought up the idea of blood box. And I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. Enchanted gadgets, magically enhanced transportation, and tech-phobic supernatural entities. How much do regular humans know about the supernatural? And is it a well-kept secret or openly acknowledged part of the world? Okay. And then we get into the ancient power. It just feels so boring. Um, Conspiracy mechanisms. How do the conspirators operate without detection? Do they have a network of spies? Those are really good questions right here. So, the people who are working against her, and how she gets turned into a vampire and all those things, like, how do they operate without being caught, or by whatever powers that be in the city or in the supernatural realm? I think another good question would be, does whatever happen, does it only affect uh, does it only affect Cleveland, or does it affect the world? So, how far does the conspiracy go, and how far, um, do the repercussions go if, something happens, if they miss something? So, and then also the general atmosphere, darkly gothic mixed with modern grit. Yeah, 100%. I'm down with that. How do you balance the mystery and the fantasy elements, and maintain a consistent tone? And then also, how does Charlie navigate daily life as an investigator and as a vampire? So that's going to be uh, fun to explore. Where does she live? How does she blend into the human world while she pursues her cases? So I feel like all we have are questions. So many questions. And yeah, I don't want to bore you guys with like sitting here and going through each and every single one of them and trying to figure out what the answer is and how it affects everybody. So I think my homework for this, at the end of this session, is going to be to come up with the individual story premises, and then the plot lines for plot A, plot B, and then the two subplots. I think that's going to be my homework. Alicia says, what system is Charlie destroying or dismantling or disrupting in this arc? I don't know yet. So I need to know a little bit more about the world, I think, and kind of figure out, you know, um, what is there to break down or bust or save before we can go forward. So yes, there are positives and there's negatives about going about it this direction. And uh, as far as I can see, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's also going to be a lot of fun, I think. Kat said, Mercy Thompson has blood pouches with straws like a juice box. Yes. I very, very vaguely remember Mercy Thompson, but it's been a while. So I think I'm actually going to stop with what we're doing for now. I think we're in a good place. We know what we don't know. And I think to move forward, I have a lot of questions that I'm going to have to answer. But that's good because that leaves, I can open the door. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys want to talk about what you're working on? Any of that kind of stuff. And I'm going to drink some water. And so Space was telling me about, there is a new formatting framework from Novel Crafter. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out while we are, while anyone comes up with any kind of questions they have. There we go. Here we go. So we're on the Novel Crafter website here. And I guess Cody came up with this thing called the novel clock. So it's a 12-act structure. I haven't had a chance to really play with it yet. Kat says, I've been playing with the dev editor in Novel Crafters chat and having a lot of fun. Awesome. Yes, I want to show you something while we're here. That just reminded me of something. Give me 1 second and let me prep in another window. I want to show you how to call a GPT from another GPT because it's actually really super helpful. So let me get into ChatGPT. And it might be a little bit slow because, you know, everyone and their brother is currently making images. And it is all kinds of fun. Okay, so 1 second. I was working on something the other day and it was a mess. Okay, so we'll go into, goodness gracious, I have a lot of GPTs. And of course, here's the one I want. Okay, so let's say we're in our Urban Fantasy Mystery Editor. So, and again, the link is on the Notion document. And let's just, for funsies, we will give it the same initial prompt that we gave the other ones. Okay. Kat says, I'd like to see how you set up the codex for a series and if it's different than just using book 1 as a template for book 2 when you're done with. Oh, okay. Yes. No problem. Okay. So it actually gave the book a tagline, some mail is meant to stay undelivered. Here we go. It goes through the standalone case, arc seeds, and then the character growth. Awesome. One thing I doesn't like it addressed is, oh, here we go. Romantic tension is right here. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to call in by Angie Hartwell, author persona. Now, author personas, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something that I've been showing the people at the Byte-Sized Story Alliance how to do. And it is a ton of fun. So I'm going to tag in Angie. Here she is. Okay. So, hey, Angie. What do you think of this? I'm not going to lie. I love this. Like, bite your neck and leave a note, love note, levels of love. So again, all I did was I hit the @ symbol and then I found the GPT that I wanted. And then I just tagged it in. And so Charlie Craig feels like the spiritual descendant of Anita Blake and Jessica Jones. So it's coming in here and, you know, giving me some good feedback. My brand as Angie Hartwell is actually built into this GPT. So it's able to kind of give me a perspective that takes my brand into consideration. Now, when you're done talking to that other GPT, all you have to do is come here and hit the X, and it goes away, and you're back into talking to your whichever GPT you were talking to originally. So it's just kind of a way to tag in another GPT. So if you're like me and you have like 50, and yes, I do need all of those GPTs desperately. Okay, so there was the question, how do I set up the series codex? Let me go down to a series codex. This is actually a series codex. Actually, this is a universe codex. It's not even a series codex. but I could show you this if you're interested. So with this one, I had come up with a story idea after I built it, it being the codex. So that the book and the outline, that all has to do with that specific one book. But where the series codex starts is the races, the series, so it's within this world. I've got my tropes here. The different characters that live in the world. So all of these characters have the ability to be a hero or heroine in their own specific romance. There are some locations that are important to this world. And since it is... Oh, here we go. We've got the lore. And so this is a small town romance. So there is, and this is actually very much, this was before we started talking about cozy fantasy romances. This is, honestly, it's pretty close to a cozy fantasy mystery, only it's in a modern town, like modern town, if that makes any sense. And so we've got, so the lore about the institute that's kind of like at the center of everything, information about the festivals, lore about the town itself, the solstice celebrations, and the Wheel of the Year festivals. Here we go. Here's the staff of the institute. We've got what services they have. This was back in the day when we were putting communication and stuff like as a different codex entry. Story structure. So this was probably some, I think this was the spicy one from TNT. Governance and culture of Lorehaven as well. I definitely would not make it this way anymore. We definitely have better tools now available to us within Novel Crafter. But yeah. Oh, you wanted Alicia GPT? I will show you where the instructions are since you're in the Alliance, Alicia, and you can actually build yourself your own Alicia GPT. And you can put in there stuff about, your website. You can put in stuff there about, your philosophies. You can also talk in there about the fact that you sell merch along with your books. So that is all 100% an opportunity for you. Okay. So I think that's it. Yeah. Any last questions? Yay. Okay. I thought, Kat, you were working on one. Or one of you guys was working on one. I need to publish the video, but I went through a demo of how to do it last Saturday during our virtual office hours. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited to see what you guys are creating on your own. Those of you who are following along and creating your own urban fantasy mystery. And again, my homework is to figure out the plot lines, answer a lot of questions about the world. So I think we should just, let's say that I am going to have everything ready so we can begin building the World Codex or the series Codex next week. And then as well, start plotting book one. I think that is very ambitious, but I think it would put us in a good position to keep the momentum going. Kat, working on your pen name persona GPT. The pen name, that was my pen name, Persona GPT. It's the same thing. So yes. Okay, guys. Well, it's 8 o'clock here for me. I am going to go hang out with my family. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment underneath the video, or you can send me an email, and I will answer them as I have time to do so. I will see you guys here back again on Friday evening, and have an amazing week, and happy writing.